This production is brought to you by the University of Edinburgh.
Hello, and welcome to an interactive introduction to MATLAB. This screencast will outline how to use the if and else statements in MATLAB. If and else statements are a form of decision making which allow different parts of your code to execute depending on certain conditions. The handout has already shown you some simple examples of using the if and else statements to look at a value of a number and produce a statement depending on the outcome. In this session, we will look at a slightly more realistic example involving calculating the volume of water in a water tower given the height of the water. You can see from the details of the example that if the water height is between 0 and 19 meters, then the volume of water is calculated from the conical portion of the tank. Whereas, if the water level is above 19 meters, then the volume of water is calculated using the cylindrical portion plus a conical section. We will use an if statement to handle this calculation, and we will write it as a function. The first thing we do is open a new N file and complete the function definition line. The output of our function will be the volume of water. The name of this function will be water_vol, and the input to the function is the height. Now we will add some notes to describe the function, provide authorship, and date the function. As usual, we then move on to noting down the variable dictionary. There will be a variable called volume, which will be an output and will contain the volume of water in the tank. A second variable, height, which is an input and contains the height of water in the tank. There'll also be a local variable called RH, which is used to calculate the volume of water in the conical portion of the tank. The first step we need to do is input an if statement to look at the conditions where the height of water is less than or equal to 19 meters. We therefore type if height is less than or equal to, then we want to calculate the volume using only the formula for a cylinder. This formula is pi times the radius squared, in this case 12.5 squared, times the height. This is the first part of the if statement. If the height is anything other than 19 meters or less, then the volume will contain water in the top portion of the tank. The statement therefore must contain the equation to express this. Using the else statement, we input a calculation for the local variable RH. We then calculate the volume itself. And now end the if-else statement. To make the longer equation a little more readable, you can enter 3 dots and move part of the equation to the next line. The function is now ready to test. We'll save it with the function name and test in the command window using 2 examples of 8 meters and 25.7 meters. We type the commands as V1 and V2. And we see that they both return with the correct answer.
This production is copyright the University of Edinburgh.